Hi, my name is Mariah Marshall. I recently won the PS art competition, and my piece Relativity is going to be on display at the Metropolitan Museum from June 9th to October 14th. It'd be great to see you there. I want to become an animator and possibly a game developer. I want to work in video game design and animation. I guess all the cartoons I watched as a kid, I know like the video games that I play with my brother and stuff like that. A lot of animated films too, like stuff from Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, Blue Sky Studios, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't really have much of a plan B when it comes to a career. I kind of can't really see myself doing anything else besides animation, because even though there are like there's a million things I could do with my future, like career-wise, but I don't really see myself doing or enjoying doing much else than animating. Or I plan on making my own series, like probably animated series, but I would be open to do to do comic books, but I haven't really had that much practice with that as of yet. So. I have been trying to practice in my school newspaper. I became the comic artist. I've done 2 comics so far for the school newspaper, and that's kind of getting me used to pretty much like how to lay out or how to produce comics, like produce content that's gonna be like just a little like comics, like how to lay them out, how to make them really simple so that you get the point, but they still like look good or interesting to look at. My parents aren't super supportive of me going into art, but they're kind of like they're getting used to it because I'm gonna do it anyway. But they're kind of getting used to the idea of me going into art because recently I actually the PS art competition. Public school art competition. My work was one piece that I made was entered into it, and it won out of like about 1,000 applicants, and it's gonna be displayed at the Met. So, telling them that that's happening, kind of got them more on board with me going into art. So, they're getting there. So the piece that I entered was called Relativity, and I think it's like 12 by 16. It's done in colored pencil, and it's pretty much it looks like something that would be on like the back of someone's van in the 70s. Like but it's a girl, and she's like an astronaut, and they're pretty much just like light bulbs floating around her, and it's more about the color than like the actual I don't know, composition, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty much a girl. She's an astronaut, and like her helmet, like the glass helmet that's around her head, is kind of like melting a bit. My art teacher, the main project was to learn how to draw light bulbs, or more specifically glass, glass and metal really. And when she was telling us that project, I was having a lot of ideas. Like I knew I wanted to do something with space, because I don't know, I'm just really into sci-fi and stuff like that. So what I did was I said, oh well, I could, since we're doing light bulbs are kind of like glass domes, so I could do like an astronaut, and that would probably pass by. She would allow me to do that, and she did. So I decided, well, I have to have a lot of light bulbs, so I'll just make them float around kind of in space. And I really want to do this really weird looking astronaut girl, so okay. Some of the things that I have written are like a bit more grittier, more like it's like psychologically critical, as in like some of the stuff I've written covers some aspects of mental illness, like stuff that I've gone through, stuff that I've seen other people go through, or just stuff that I've seen that's kind of a little dark. But most of it it's pretty much like the plot of some like old 80s video game. It's like you gotta fight this thing and you have this power. Like it's very simple, story-driven stuff. I think a lot of the more serious stuff that I've written, the message in it is kind of just, it's really more for expression, and the message kind of comes afterwards with that type of thing, because most of that is, it's an outlet. That's kind of what I treat it as a lot of the time. If I'm ever feeling really down about something, or just having a serious problem or something, or I'm kind of like stress has made me too immobile to do anything else, like anything that I really need to do. I kind of get frustrated at myself, and I just say, I'll just draw something, or I'll write something, or I don't know, I do it all the time, and it kind of, it helps to comfort me, and it gives me a tangible sense of, like, progress, and it's not even just a pastime. Like, I do art for the sake of art itself, and for the sake of improvement. Like, sometimes it's cool to, like, go back to my old sketchbooks and see, wow, that was really, like, terrible, but, like, I can look at my new sketches and say, like, alright, well, these aren't amazing, but my old self would have thought that they were great. Like, my old self would have, me 3 years ago would have looked at that and said, whoa, like, who are you? Like, how did you do that? But it's kind of nice to see progress, especially when, like, with school and everything, I feel like I'm not making any considerable progress. Like, what a teacher or my parents or an administrator would tell me is progress. Like, when it feels like I'm not making any of that, I still have my art to go back to, which is what I want to do anyway. What I draw in my sketchbook is mostly just characters, really. Characters or stuff that I see. A lot of the time I do portraits, like really quick, like 5-minute portraits of people on the train, because I'm on the train so much. I also do, well, it's really just like a lot of character design stuff, like right now, because I've been working mostly in pencil and ink for most of my artistic development, I guess. I started working in color, so like Prismacolor markers or watercolor markers, colored pencil, and other inking pens and stuff like that. So I've been working on white illustration. We're working with color palettes and stuff like that. I've also been working with gouache paint. I have 2 sketchbooks right now. I have one that's, you know, normal paper, like 9 by 12, and then I have another one that's 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10 or something like that. And the 8 by 10 one is a toned sketchbook, so the paper is gray. And I use that so that I can practice values, so I can go up the value scale towards white and then down the value scale towards black. With my characters, I guess when I create them, I don't have, it sounds so corny and like momish to say, but I don't really have favorites. I don't know if I really have one that I identify most with, because they all are either kind of just a random thing that I thought and said, let me just draw this, or then I did something that I said, oh, well, this looks cool and this looks cool, so let me just draw that in a character. Like, I guess I would identify with, I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's not that I don't identify with my characters, it's just that a lot of the time, I think more about, like, their backstories, or their environments, or the actual, like, visual development of themselves, before I really get into how I identify with them. But if I looked at all of my characters and I thought, you know, if I, like, actually, like, entertained the question, like, which one of these do I identify the most with, I'd probably identify with all of them, like, pretty heavily. Like, I would probably end up just seeing what I identified in all of them, because they all came from somewhere. Like, they all had to come from somewhere, so I could find something within all of those to include or think about. I feel like my parents, of course, would be more open to me going into art if I told them most of what it means to me, or if I sat down and talked to them about it. But that's kind of exhausting. Like, talking to your parents is exhausting, especially for something that you're passionate about, and they're like, no, you should do this or whatever. So maybe they would be more open to me going into art, but they also had a very hard time growing up, and they also fought to secure their own futures. So I don't know if my newer, I guess less serious to them problems, or less real to them problems would make them more accepting of what I want to do. I don't know if that would make them, I guess, more willing to understand that this is just what I'm going to do, regardless. Yeah, my parents are gonna go check out the exhibit on opening day. They're really excited about it. Um, it's kind of funny because I mean I make them sound more harsh than they are sometimes, but they're now that they have this like tangible success, like something that they would consider success, something material. Um, so like, just something there. They're very excited about it. They're my mom tells like a bunch of like her patients about it sometimes when they ask like how's the family doing. My dad's very excited about it because he's also very into like old cartoons and stuff like that. My parents are very excited about it and they're very proud, which is why they're more accepting now of me going into art.